How to get a 4K 90-day sale without feeling salesy or pushy. Super excited to share with you how you can get away from this feeling about feeling uncomfortable around sales, feeling like you have to use a script, feeling like you have to convince the prospective client to invest with you. And instead, what I'll show you today is how you are born a natural seller and how you can help on that sales call turn this whole weirdness around with feeling salesy and slimy and instead lead your client to see how investing with you is exactly what they need to do right now instead of feeling like you have to convince them by sharing all about your program. So if you have been in that place, and I'll share some stories where I've been too, where sales calls just filled you with a lot of anxiety and just felt awkward when you had to make that actual offer and share about your program. And perhaps you've been in that place where you've worked with different coaches who gave you a script. And the thing about scripts is the intention behind it is, of course, to help you feel like you have some guidance, help you feel less nervous. But what happens with scripts is it actually cuts you off from your natural selling abilities. So the first part about this whole shifting around, why sales scripts don't work is what happens with scripts, and not just scripts in the sales calls, but also scripts if you've received any scripts in DMs or comments. Like I've received several comments on on Instagram posts that are saying, oh my God, you're so amazing. You need to enroll in this program. And if you've ever received that, it doesn't feel natural. And it doesn't, well, for me, it doesn't make me want to invest with them because I feel I'm being sold to. And the other way that scripts on sales calls don't work is that instead of engaging in your natural selling ability, you are disconnecting from that because you're thinking about what you need to say next, what's next on the script. So you're not actually present with your client. You're not intimate in that experience, and you're not connected to what is the next natural thing to say. Because this whole idea of you being born a natural seller is rooted in not only just psychology, but in development of human beings. So if you think about you as a baby, you're helpless, but you're born with innate skills to sell, to convince someone, your caregivers, to feed you, to change your diaper, to pay attention to you. And in turn, you have that natural ability to make them feel good. I mean, you think about a baby, you bring a baby into, a doctor's office or someplace where everyone's pretty somber, and that baby smiles, that whole room lights up. Everyone feels amazing about themselves. And that is something that you naturally have. And that doesn't go away. So tapping back into that ability to not only, know what people need to feel good, like being able to help people feel good about themselves, but also knowing that you have that innate skill to get what you need. And that is what selling is. So when you stop to think about that, your natural design, then of course it doesn't make any sense to use a script because that script cuts you off from that natural design. And the other part about this is, being present in that moment and being tapped into what is the next natural thing that your client needs that you are able to share with them. And how this then starts to lead into that next part about leading your client to see that you're exactly the right person for them to invest in, the right support that they need, without you having to pitch. Because when you're pitching, again, not only are you disconnected from yourself and from the client, you are also thinking it's about you and that, you need to convince them of your expertise, of all the benefits, all the, bells and whistles of your program and all the bonuses and all the things that you think they will want in order to sort of justify your own rate or justify them investing with you. And instead, it's not about you. And then how you can shift this and how you can help them, lead them to see investing with you is the exact right thing for them. I'm going to change my light so that you don't even have to talk about your program. How you shift this, again, is tapping into your natural selling abilities. Also, though, and that natural ability of you as a baby, as all of us as babies, to help someone feel good. And that's that shift here, is that when you shift the focus, that it's not about trying to convince them to invest with you, and you shift to guiding them to see what is amazing and special about them that maybe they haven't even recognized yet, that you see in them, and that tapping into that is what will make what they truly desire possible for them. That helps them shift to this place of feeling good about themselves, feeling good about you. And how this is different from the old traditional ways of doing selling is, a lot of, and I even was just looking through some of the different things previous coaches and mentors have shared with me, is a lot of times selling from the old way is coming from a place of fear and shame. And, what's going to happen if you don't invest? And how long, are you willing to keep doing nothing? And how, so it's engaging you in that place of fear and of missing out and if you're in that place where you're like, oh my God, I'm just in so much pain and I can't take it anymore. And then you invest, think about the energy of that investment. It's coming from a place, one, of fear and of scarcity and of almost like being bullied into investing. And I've had experiences like that. I have had, one of the coaches I hired, that was her whole philosophy. She was basically bullying people to invest and making people feel bad. And if you think about investing from a place of feeling bad about yourself, what you're doing is showing your client they can't trust themselves or believe in themselves, which is actually the reason they're not getting results in the first place. And so for them to invest from a place of not believing in themselves is not empowering them to see what is possible for them. And when you shift to really guiding them to see what's amazing about them, what's possible for them, then you're allowing them to make an empowered decision and a decision that is right for them, so that they're choosing to invest because they believe in themselves, they trust themselves, that you are the right person for them versus, oh my God, I'm just in so much pain, take my money. Because then when they invest that way, of course, afterwards, they doubt it. And if they're not empowered on the sales call, they're not going to be empowered in your program. So these are the clients who won't be getting results, who won't be doing the work, who will be sort of your trouble clients. And because that's how they invested, that was the initial relationship you established with them. And when you establish that initial relationship on the sales call, a relationship of empowerment, then of course your relationship with them as a coach and client is going to be a relationship of empowerment. The next part too, then adding to that part of empowerment is also showing your client how they will get results with you quickly. Because of course, when they see that and you tell them why, why is your process different and why will they get results with you and how will they get results with you quickly, that also is helping lead them to make that empowered decision that it is right for them, because they see not only what's possible for them, they see how and they see why, and they see that they will get results quickly. So when you lead from that place, they convince themselves that it's right, it's the right thing to do. They are ready to continue that process of building that trust in themselves and knowing, working with you, they will get the results that they desire quickly. So how this has shifted, for me, when I was taught different scripts, I remember doing sales calls with scripts, being completely disconnected from from the person and not really, being present because I was worried about what I had to say next. And then when I used, the other coach that was all about, basically her philosophy was, people need to cry on the call with you. And when I did that process of, what's going to happen if you don't do this, and just really tapping into just not a good place, tapping into people's fear and shame. That felt awful for me. And so I didn't actually have a lot of sales calls with her because I didn't want to sell that way. It didn't feel right. It felt out of integrity. It felt fake, and it felt really disempowering and really not acknowledging what is amazing about people. And that's always been how I'm wired and how I always see people. I always see what is best for people, what's great about them, even sometimes when they can't see it themselves. And that is how I live my life. And that's, of course, why wouldn't I be leading my business that way and my sales calls that way? And when I made that shift, sales calls were just so different. It wasn't even a sales call. It was a conversation. It was allowing the client to guide themselves to see it was right for them. And then just offering, what is available to them, and that power within them is there. And of course, that belief in themselves is there, and tapping into that so they see it was an empowering decision to invest. And they would get their results. They would trust themselves to do the work to get their results no matter what. And that changes not only the call, but of course it changes the coaching relationship where my clients are getting results within the first week of working with me, because we're starting from that place of power and possibility and what is special about them, because that's where we want to be growing, and that's where we want to be living our lives, from that place of what is unique and special about us, and how tapping into that is what will help propel us and propel our success much more than anything else. So I would love to hear your thoughts if you are in that place where maybe you've had some sales calls and they haven't become clients, or maybe you just are avoiding sales because they feel really awkward and you don't really know what to do without a script, but you don't really want to convince your clients, but you're kind of not sure what to do next. Jump on a call with me and I will help you see, of course, like I shared today, what you can do so that sales calls don't feel salesy, and you don't have to pitch yourself. You don't have to convince your client. You don't have to even talk about your program. And you can have your client knowing you're the right person to invest in, and convincing themselves to pay on that call right away. Can't wait to hear from you. And if you know someone that needs to hear this today, please share. It's the most amazing way for this message to get out to more people and to help more people get out of the cycle of either avoiding sales or hating sales or not having success on sales calls. And because that just it's so unnecessary, and it's not how we're designed anyway. So why continue to do something that's counter to our, how we're wired as human beings? And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. I'd love to have you be around here. Hit the like button if you haven't. And thank you so much for being here. And I encourage you to think about leading not only your sales calls, leading all your conversations, leading your business from that place of empowerment, what is possible, and what is amazing and special about the other person that you're talking to. Bye.